back to another episode of Math with Sohn. Today, we are going to be talking about geometric mean, but I like to call it the big, medium, and small triangle problems, because if you have a right triangle, like I have here, it's a nice pretty one, I drew it myself. If you have a right triangle, and you cut this right triangle from this angle here with a right angle, which is what we call the altitude. So if we take the altitude and it's 90 degrees here and we go straight to that other right angle, you create a situation where you have three triangles. You have the first one, which is right here, this big one right here. And you have this little guy right here, which I'm going to highlight in red. And you also have this blue one right here. And there are the three triangles. There's the 90 for the blue one. Now, this part right here in the middle is always going to be the base or the bottom of the medium, what I call the medium triangle. Medium, bottom, or base. This part from here to here is always going to be the bottom of my small triangle. Okay? So this is the bottom of the medium one. This is the bottom of the small one. And if you keep that, then it makes it a lot easier, because when I redraw these, I redraw them with three different triangles. I draw a bigger one with the bottom looking like this with my right angle. And then I draw my medium shaped one where I put the bottom here as well. So this is the bottom that I'm talking about on the medium one. And that's the medium sized. And then I draw my small one where I have it here. And this is the bottom that I'm talking about on the small one. Right there. Okay? So let's see what this looks like. It's not as hard as it seems. It's really just going to involve some cross multiplying, but you got to be willing to draw the triangles. That's the big kicker. Some people don't like drawing stuff. All right. So first problem right here. We're going to draw a big, a medium, and a small triangle. And then we are going to be able to take them and get it figured out. So the first thing I'm going to do is draw the big, the medium, and the small triangle. And I'll keep it consistent for you guys. I'm going to draw it in black. Now, I always want to draw the big, medium, and small triangle with the base being kind of the shorter part and the height being a little bit taller. Okay? So that's why my base is here and my height is a little bit taller. And if I look carefully, I have this part of the big triangle that's my base part for the big triangle this time. Because I always want to draw the hypotenuse here and the base being on the left. I always personally make this an L every time. Okay? So with this big triangle, the only thing I can label currently is 100, because that was what was across from the hypotenuse. Now, I am going to draw the medium triangle. And the medium triangle I'm going to draw in blue. 90. So my medium triangle, when I turn it this way, is going to be right here. Remember, as I just said, that this is the bottom of the medium every single time. So I'm going to put X as the bottom of that medium. But more importantly, I actually have some other information on that medium triangle, because if I do 100 minus 36, I get 64 as this part right here. Because this is just 100 and that 36 can mean that that's 64. So if I turn it again, that 64 is going to be the height of the medium triangle. The hypotenuse of the medium is over here, and we don't know what that is. So I'm going to put 64 down as my height of the medium triangle. And now I got one more triangle to draw. It's a small one. I'm going to draw it just ever so slightly smaller. It's almost as big as the medium, but that's okay. So the small one, this is going to be the bottom, And if I flip it upside right here, we can see that that is the bottom of the small triangle, and that is what we drew on for our reference guide. And this is going to be the height. And again, we don't know what the hypotenuse is. That's the slanted side. So here we have x as the height and 36 as the bottom. What you need to do now is look for two triangles, only two. And two of the triangles are going to have more information, but more importantly, they're going to have information that you need to correlate. 64 and x relate to each other, and this x and that 36 relate to each other. So I am going to put one over the other. I am going to put the 64 over x. I'm just going to go left triangle over right triangle. 64 over x equals left triangle over right triangle, x over 36. And in the past, I told you small over big. You can do that as well. It still works out the same exact way. We have to cross multiply here. X times x is x squared. That happens quite a bit. X times x is x squared equals a really big number, whatever 64 times 36 is. 64 times 36 is a huge number, in fact. It is 2,304. But that's okay. All we have to do to solve that is square root. So whatever the square root of that is our answer, which in this case is 48. Ta-da! That's it. Don't overthink them. They're not that bad. Once you draw them out, you're going to get quicker and quicker at drawing them out. You're going to be fine. So this next one, I like number 2 a lot more. I should have started with number 2. I like number 2 so much more because it's already set up the way I like. The L right here. Okay? I don't have to turn the paper upside down as much. So I'm going to draw this big triangle out, apparently in red, with an X here and a 25 all the way across. And then I'm going to draw the medium triangle. Now this medium triangle, I don't think it's going to have a lot of information for me. I really don't. Because this is the bottom of the medium. Well, I don't have anything. This is the hypotenuse of the medium. I don't have anything. The only thing I got is technically this is 16 if I take 9 away from 25. So I can fill in 16 right there. Maybe it'll be helpful. Now I got to draw my small triangle, which I'm going to do in blue. This small triangle, I think, has quite a bit of information for us. We have, if I turn it this way, across from the 90 are x, and our 9 is going to be the base of the small. So our 90, across from that we have our x, and that 9 is going to be the base of the small. So I'm turning it back upright. Sorry if I'm making anybody dizzy. It's hard keeping it all on the camera too. We got 90, which was across from that we had x right here. And that 9 was the base of the small. A lot of times I find it confusing, like which one do I put for the 9, here or here. Always remember this is the base of the small. This is the base of the medium where I just put the circle right there. Medium base, which we left blank because there was nothing there. Okay, so with this, we just got to find the triangles that have the most information to our advantage. And in this case, it's the big triangle and the small triangle. So I'm going to have 25 in relationship to x and x in relationship to 9. I'm going to do small triangle over big triangle this time. So x over 25 will equal small triangle 9 over bigger triangle x. Cross multiply. Again, we get an x squared. Totally common. Would equal 25 times 9. 25 times 9, also a big number. X squared equals 225. And the square root of 225 is, I believe, 25. No, maybe not. Nope, it's 15. A little off. Okay? Let's try one more, and let's see how it works out. So let's try number 3. None of these problems change. That's the beauty of these. They all remain the same. You draw your 3 triangles. Sometimes you'll have an x squared, sometimes you won't. So don't panic if you don't get x squared. And you just cross multiply. So let's draw the big triangle. The big triangle I don't think I'm going to use because when I draw this big triangle, what do I have? 25. That's it. So odds are I'm not going to utilize the big triangle, but I probably will be utilizing this medium triangle a lot, where we have x on the bottom of the medium triangle, and 16 would be the height right here. So 16 is the height. We don't have anything across from the 90 degrees. That's why I left my hypotenuse blank on my medium triangle. Now I just need the small triangle right here. There's the small one. Boy, that was an ugly small triangle. That's okay. Again, this is always the base of the small, which means that's 9. X is right here. This is always the height of the small, but it also happens to be the base of the medium. So that's why we got X there. It's the height of the small, but it's the base of the medium. Medium base, but height of the small. So X here. Cross multiply, we're going to use these two. X is going to go over 16. These two relate. And 9 would have to go over the X, equals 9 over the X. Again, we're going to get X squared. I'm kind of getting tired of X squared. X times X is X squared, equals 9 times 16. Multiply 9 and 16 together, and you get 144. The square root of 144 is going to be our answer, which is 12. All right, that's going to do it for this episode. Until next time, I will see everybody later. Stay positive. Bye.